Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today brought to you by Al Chris Manson and the folks at the Whistler Golf Club. Lions and Bombers tonight in Winnipeg, and at that game, Andrew Harris, running back in the day for the Bombers, Lions, and Argonauts, is going to be honored, and rightfully so. I don't know where to begin. 14 CFL seasons, four-time Grey Cup champion, including 2011 with the Lions when he was named the game's most outstanding Canadian, Grey Cup MVP, and most outstanding Canadian back in 2019 with the Bombers. Again, I could go on and on about Andrew's accomplishments. It's quite the story. Officially retired from football in April, and now the subject of a documentary streaming on Apple and Amazon Prime. It's called Running Back Relentless, and Andrew joins us now. Andrew, thanks for doing this, sir. Long time no talk to. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you again.
Absolutely. How did this project come about, the documentary?
So Taylor Prestige, he's Upper Canada Films, and he and I worked together with Team Shaw back in 2012 to 16, back when I was with the Lions. We did a small project together through TSN in 2018, and then so much happened in my life from 18 up until kind of last year. And he said, you know what? Over a couple drinks, I divulged some information about my past, my childhood, and we kind of just started sharing. And he's like, man, we got to keep shooting and make this a full-fledged documentary and do it on our own and not have anyone kind of tied to it that'll have control over it. So we seeked out an investor and some more help with the whole project. And then there was like, okay, what kind of narrative are we going to tell here? How are we going to put this out there, and what's our goal for this? And it is a story. It's a documentary about a football player, but it's not a football documentary. It's a lot more than that, and I think there's a lot of darkness that I kind of went through throughout my career, based off of childhood trauma and things that I had kind of dealt throughout my life, but I also use those things to achieve great things on the field and channeled in the right ways. But and as you will watch it and see, I kind of went to hit a breaking point. Didn't handle things in the best ways, and was in a really dark place. So just sharing these stories, and my goal with this whole film is to help make an impact. I've always wanted to make an impact on the field with my play, and now going through my successes, my downfalls, and learning and being really self-aware of where I'm at in life. I believe I can still make an impact in people's lives, and I think this documentary is going to be a prime example of that.
Just looking at the pictures from the trailer, I'm already intrigued. They're fascinating. Andrew, I don't know how much you want to share and give too much away, but what was it about your childhood, your upbringing, that makes for an interesting documentary?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with a single mom, and she really, I was never her priority, or wasn't her priority a lot in life. I had a stepdad who was abusive to me, and she always chose him over me. So the self-isolation that I kind of put myself through, and not having anyone to kind of trust or look to, created a complex within myself, and again, buried a lot of it, and used a lot of hate and anger and dysfunction to kind of operate. And then, like I said, as those things kind of stack up, and you keep taking these punches and punches and punches throughout life, I just hit that breaking point throughout a bunch of different things going on in my life, from relationships to stuff on the field to off the field, and I was at a point where I didn't want to wake up the next day, and it was scary for me. I had some really good resources in within the team that I talked to, and chosen a couple friends that I reached out to, and got out of it, and again rechanneled that energy to use it successfully on the field. And I mean, I'm extremely proud of what I was capable of on the field and what I accomplished, but I am way more proud of myself of this aspect of my life than ever. And now being again on the other side of it, and being self-aware and accepting it for what it is. It's unbelievable.
In a strange way, you mentioned the hate and anger, but in a strange way, did that help you at all on the football field at your job, Andrew?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And everyone always said, "Oh, he plays with a chip on his shoulder," and I always felt like I had something to prove, and I always had to overcome. That was my mindset. I never felt welcome. I never felt safe. I never felt comfortable. And those are all good intangibles, but they got to come from the right place, and they can't eat at you. And like I said, I think this is going to be impactful for a lot of athletes. I think it's going to be impactful for a lot of people that aren't athletes as well. I think there's a lot of relatable moments and factors into this, and using the platform to talk about it and being comfortable enough. And it took me honestly months to get comfortable even putting this out there. Like up until about a couple weeks ago, I was about to veto the whole thing and just say like I don't want to do this anymore, because it is very revealing. And I've never been a person who wants to talk about these things, and I've always kind of like fluffed it off and said, oh, just get over it kind of thing. But it's important. I think there's a lot of intangibles that people go through and they bury, and I think there's a strong message here, and again, hopefully it'll just help some people and some folks to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and motivate them and inspire them in a way to keep pushing through.
Andrew, you talk about the darkness, but on the other side, you were one of the best players in CFL history. To be a top athlete and to play at the level you did is not easy. There's the commitment on the field, off the field. You talk about the darkness, but on the other side, you became one of the best players in league history. That wasn't easy to do either.
No, I mean, that's again, talk about all the success on the field. Having everything that I had in the background, that's what kind of blows me away. And when you're living it and you're going through, you don't really realize until, you kind of take a step back and say, wow, like that was some real stuff going on, and then again, that's why I say I'm so much more proud of that than anything. But, great teams and great teammates and coaches and, all these things, help kind of block away what's really going on, and that's why sports are so amazing. The camaraderie, the brotherhood, the lifelong bonds you have with these guys, or girls, whatever sport you're playing, but the people you play with and work with, and the blood, sweat, and tears that go into it. I mean, it's amazing how those characteristics can push you through so many other things going on, or intangibles. Sorry, can push you through to do great things, and also kind of shut off realities at times. So it's just amazing process, and I'm really excited now to kind of just accept it for what it is, and it is my story, and it just is. For so long I was critiquing it, and how can we change this, and how can we add to this, and how is this going to come across, and how do I look, and how do I feel about this, and I finally just accepted it for the project that it is, and I'm really proud of it.
Andrew, you're going to be honored by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers tonight, but there's a lot of people that felt that you should have finished your career with the BC Lions. What happened? 6 years. Everybody wants to know. Come on, what happened there? It got a little tense with negotiations there. You could have gone coast to coast with the Lions, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was so long ago, but I remember it was just kind of came down to contract stuff, and I think Wally gave me a lower offer than I was going to get in free agency, throughout the season. And then basically at the end of the season, he said, it's off the table now. So, Wally was playing hard to get. And ultimately, Winnipeg paid me a big check to go out there. And I always wanted to play home, at home for my team. But it's, that was a dream come true for me. To win a cup, but I'm actually going to see Wally tomorrow. I'm head of football operations for the junior BI Raiders on the island, and Wally's come over to guest speak with me, and I'm excited to see him. I haven't seen him in a few years, and but I'm looking forward to seeing the man that gave me my first opportunity to be where I'm at today.
Yeah, and we could go on and on about this, Andrew, but what a story. Coming over to practice with the Lions while you were playing junior football with the Raiders on Vancouver Island, where our bosses are located. By the way, you end up making the CFL, being one of the great players in CFL history. But you also played hockey. And I not only did you play hockey, we've got this picture sent into us by, I believe, a listener, a viewer by the name of Archie. It's you reffing a beer league game. I understand you were quite the hockey player back in the day. You're from Winnipeg, but also you did some reffing. What's this all about?
Yeah, so one of my buddies runs the Adult Safe Hockey League in Winnipeg. And throughout COVID, they lost a bunch of refs, and he's like, "Yeah, you're at the rink all the time, anyways, playing." He's like, "Why not just come and help me out? I need refs." So my daughter played, club volleyball, so she was away for, 4 hours a night, a few times a week with practice and training and stuff. So I was like, "What the hell? I'm just gonna be sitting at home doing nothing anyways." So I got a couple games in a week to go do some reffing, but it was fun. I was nervous at first, but I actually enjoyed it. I didn't call too many penalties, that's for sure. Just let them play.
You look like me out there. You're holding on to the boards.
Yeah,
for sure. No, I'm getting the net ready for the.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. It's the net.
Hey, Andrew, like I say, we could go on and on. It's just a great story, and obviously, if people want to know more, they can check out the documentary streaming on Apple and Amazon Prime. I know Rick and I will. Running Back Relentless is the name of the documentary. This has been great.
Yeah.
All the best with everything.
Thanks so much, guys. Great to see you again. Great chatting with you, and wish you guys all the best.
You bet. And have a good time tonight. You bet.